Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited you're here. I am Michelle Weidenbetter, the mom of a recovering addict. I'm an author, speaker, coach, and podcaster, but mostly I'm your chief hope builder. I help moms of addicted loved ones recapture their lives so they can live in their purpose. I always like to say I'm not a counselor or a doctor. I'm a mom just like you who's been on this journey for way too long, but probably more than 10 years. And somewhere along that journey, I felt called to be a guide, your guide on this journey, to share what I learned along the way in hopes of helping you learn more about addiction and your child's disease, but also to help you continue living, to recapture your purpose. So, those of you who are here, I have you muted and nobody can see your faces in this webinar. So, I know some of you are happy about that, although in our support meetings, you are visible, but not for the webinar. And if you need to chat at any time, please use the chat box. You'll find it either on the bottom or on the top of your screen, depending on what you're using. If you're in the Facebook group, welcome, and you can always type in the comment section. But as I present, I won't be able to see all of it, but I will try to keep up with it. Okay. And so let's see. Um, and if you want to turn off all your distractions, it's so hard nowadays not to get hacked by everything out there, multiple things going in one time at one time. It used to be like we thought we could multitask, but now they're saying that that is worse than being on drugs. Like you just can't do it. So I hope that you'll stay with me. This should last about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your questions. But you can turn off your phone and any other distractions and try to stay focused. So type yes in the chat box if you're excited to be here. Yeah, if you're excited to be here. And what do you hope to get out of this webinar? Like when you saw that I was hosting this webinar, what was it that enticed you to come today? Yes, Angel said yes. Yay, I'm so glad. What was it that enticed you to come today and why are you here and where are you at, with your feelings and everything that's going on? So, um, let me see a couple comments. Let me look in the Facebook group. Oh, so where are you at, with your feelings? Oh, can't do that. That's going on. So I have to mute myself or else I'll hear it. Okay, good morning, Linda and Angel and Charlotte and Judy, Sandy. Good morning. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Yes. Okay. So Susan said, trying to learn from others walking this path. Yes, I understand. And Joette, yes, need more info on setting boundaries. Okay, that's so good to know. Need encouragement. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and I love to encourage. And I think that, there was a time where I didn't have any encouragement. And so I understand. I think that's what I've discovered in our group is that the best thing is community and feeling like you're not alone and being able to talk and listen to other people who are going through it. So here's what I'm going to be leading you through today. Okay. I am going to talk about why this work is important. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because some of you don't know who I am. I am going to tell you about the bless and peace method of communicating with your addicted loved one. It's my own creation based on a lot of things that I'll tell you about shortly. And then finally, I'm going to tell you about the new Almighty Mom Tribe membership that I am launching here in just a few days. So hopefully it's not going to be any more than 45 minutes. If you stay till the end, I'm going to give you a couple little gifts. So I hope that you will do that. So who's ready? Okay. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Who's ready? So why is this work important? I probably don't have to tell you. Early in my son's addiction, I would get so angry when people would look at me like I was a bad mom. like my child's addiction is, a parenting error. How many of you can relate to that? Like you just felt like, wait, I didn't do anything wrong. And I used to think, well, I'm not the one with a substance use disorder, right? I'm not the one with the problem. This is his problem. And I used to think, well, why do I need to get help? Why do I need to change? Well, understanding addiction is important for moms because if we don't take time to learn, it's possible that we will unknowingly and inadvertently delay our loved ones from getting into treatment or recovery. And I think for years I was there. I was in that camp and I didn't know it. I thought I was always doing the right thing. And, you know, somewhere along the journey, I thought I really need to um, look at what I did and what I could and what I should be doing differently. Not that I would tell anybody else that, but I felt like I needed. Um, I needed to lead others, and I wanted to understand that more. So, but also, I look back and understanding how to communicate with our addicted loved ones is difficult, right? But if we're going to stay well, it helps us to learn as much as we can. So, how many of you struggle with communicating with your addicted loved one? Like, are you ever angry or frustrated, bewildered? Like, what's going on? What am I supposed to do? Whatever that is, type that I avoid. Yes, yes, Angel. So that's what I used to do too. Like, I would just avoid him. I was afraid to see him. And once he got into recovery, and as recent as last week, I talked to him, and I'll tell you that further down in the webinar here, but I avoided him because I would shake and I would tremble and I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to talk to him. And so hopefully this webinar will help you understand how to love your child and meet them where they are and communicate more effectively. At least give you some tools, right? So how does that sound? Pretty good? Yeah. So also, I'm just curious, how many of you are struggling with guilt or shame, or you think, what did I do wrong? Have you ever felt like that? What did I do wrong? Is it my fault that my child has addiction? Type, if yes, type me in the chat box. Me. Yep. Yep. Yeah, my son moved out and now I can only communicate through text and he answers selectively. Yes. So much guilt. Charlotte says so much guilt. I know. It's oh good. Well, Susan, I'm so glad. Yeah, you're not struggling with um feeling guilty or that it's your fault. Good, because I'm here to say we did not do anything wrong. You didn't cause this, you can't cure it, and you can't control it. But sometimes Angel says, yeah, she feels like she says the wrong things. Yeah, because it's like all new. Like, how are you supposed to communicate with this? Because your child is really not in front of you. It's this stranger who's hacked your child's body, or at least that's how I felt many times. So if you feel any of these feelings, though, I'm just here to say they're normal. It's normal because moms for centuries have been nurturers, right? We take our parenting role seriously and completely. So let me repeat that, right? If you feel any of these feelings, it's so normal because moms, were made to nurture. And this is just so contradiction of how we are supposed to be treating them, talking to them. All of it is just everything's upside down. Yeah, their choices, but not so angry I couldn't fix it. Yeah, we get angry and then we try to fix it. Yeah, I was there too. So, but if you feel guilty, sometimes that guilt can be causing you to react to your loved one in such a way that it will hinder or hurt his progress or her progress. And it will interfere with the way you communicate with your child. So it's really important to know, do I have guilt? Do I feel that guilt? And how effective do you think you can be achieving your dreams, right? If we're so consumed with anxiety most of the time. And how effective are you at your job, right? Yeah, it's hard. We can't, but hey, we are here right now. And I am so glad you're here, because if you're here, it's like you want to do something different. You're like, okay, maybe this lady will teach me something, right? Because if you don't take time to understand your role in the addiction cycle, we'll just keep losing sleep and finances and friends and overall health. So, addiction is progressive and chronic. It's progressive, meaning it's going to get worse, and it's chronic, meaning it doesn't go away. And so we have to take, charge. And well done. I'm glad you're here. So before I get any further, though, I want to pray. Okay. So I've written just this short little prayer, and if you're sitting with all distractions aside, I want you to just take a deep breath in and release it. And as you are exhaling, exhale all the worry, the stress, everything that you have going on in your life right now. So do it again and just release all that anxiety and worry. And close your eyes, put your feet on the floor, and just listen to this prayer really intently. Heavenly Father, I come to you with this group of moms, many of whom have hearts full of anxiety about their addicted children. They want to curl up on your lap and find peace from the chaos in their lives. They want your reassurance that everything will turn out well. Worries fill their minds night and day, and sometimes their stomachs are in knots and they can hardly breathe. They're drained dry. The joy has been sucked out of them. The enemy has them all bound up, and he lies to them. He tells them it's hopeless when it's not. But when we worry, we believe a lie that says we can control what happens. Forgive us for trying to control something we never had control of. Help us to trust you in your word and not the enemy's lies. These moms come to you with their burdens. Carry them, because they need you as their rock and fortress. As I show them my blessed method to communicate with their addicted loved ones and other loved ones in their lives, help me to find the words that they need to hear. Help them to see that they can learn new ways to stay calm too. Give them confidence and peace. Help them to see that fear is the enemy, that all they need is to trust you when they feel this palpable fear. If they are hearing negative thoughts, let them know that's the enemy, it's not you. Literally teach them how to release that fear. Give them a superpower of fearlessness to say no to fear. I pray when they feel this fear, they turn to you. Give it to you and say, I trust you, God. Your plans for me are greater than I ever imagined or hoped for. Forgive us for doubting and not living a life of trust. We believe, but please help us in our unbeliefs. You have a perfect plan for us. Grant us the grace we need. Amen. I hope you're feeling a little more relaxed. I'm just going to share a little bit of my story. Some of you know it, and some of you maybe haven't heard parts of it. It's not going to be long, but I just feel like it's who I am, and it's important. When my son and daughter-in-law, they had like a 10-year journey, opioids to heroin to meth. And like you, it was hell. I couldn't sleep. I was losing weight. I was filled with anxiety. I was worried that my granddaughters were going to die in a car crash, or I would worry, are they being neglected? And my guess is, can you relate? Yeah. I understand when moms become so with grief that we lose sight of our purpose and identity. We grieve the loss of dreams, we have for our children. And sometimes our marriages even fall apart. Well, during this time, I saw my doctor and she said, Michelle, you're really in bad shape. You are going to, you know, combat disease. Like stress can do bad things to your body. And I got even more panicked because, oh my goodness, like I was worried. I mean, I could, everybody needed me. I had to stay strong, right? And you know what I mean? Because like moms, like we got to be strong for everybody. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I think at that, point, I realized, oh my gosh, I need to get into recovery. Um, but I didn't know where to go. Like there weren't these support groups, right? And my friends would just say, like, well, don't enable them and let them hit rock bottom. And I used to think, my gosh, what is that, death? Like I think he's there already. And people would say, like, don't do this or don't do that. You should do this. And after a while, like I didn't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, what should I do? So um, I just felt like I didn't know who to listen to. And the whole tough love thing it just felt wrong because I love my child, right? So I just avoided him, like kind of like Angel said. I think it was Angel. So, but here's what I wanted. Like I wanted what we have now, right? I wanted to talk to other moms who understood. I wanted someone to help me discern, like what was enabling and what wasn't. And how do I love my child when I hated what he was doing, and how was I supposed to stay focused on my life and instead of his life, and how was I going to let go of the shame, and how was I supposed to make other family members a priority? Like how was I supposed to love my husband when I couldn't even like breathe, right? So I dropped to my knees and I was like, God, what am I supposed to do? And and don't laugh, at first I like heard crickets, right? Because I mean, I'm a believer, but I don't think I was really in the word. And then I started Googling Bible verses on fear and worry. And then one night I heard this voice, and it was like I woke up and I just kind of sat up in bed, and it was God. And I had this idea, the thought. He said, you have everything you need to learn and grow, but you can't do it alone. You need me in your life to lead the way. Quit trying to do this alone. I'm going to get emotional. So the irony, I mean, the irony, do you see the irony? So like I had been so frustrated that my son wouldn't get help, right? And here I was trying to figure it out all on my own, just like you, just like we all try to do, because we want to be strong, we want to be independent. And I was keeping all that shame locked inside me and trying to cope. But maybe you can relate. I didn't know what to do. Some of you are saying, I didn't know what to do. Yeah. Um, and we want our children to find help, right? But so many of us aren't willing to really change or find help either. I know I wasn't, right? Some have. Some of you joined the group and are eager for help, and you're here right now. So I started reading scripture, and I started interviewing professionals in the recovery field, and I talked to recovering addicts and their moms. And then it was like the more I discovered, the more I realized how wrong I had been about addiction and what my son was going through. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I need to tell other moms. They need to know what I know, what I'm learning, because I had this all wrong. And maybe you guys felt like that too at one point, and you feel like, oh my goodness, I had it wrong. And so I continued to listen to God, and these doors started opening. So, I wrote the book. I started journaling, and I wrote the book. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I got to share this with other moms because they need to hear this too. And so then I wrote the book, and I published it, Moms Letting Go Without Giving Up, 7 Steps to Self-Recovery. Because I thought, if I need to be in recovery and there's all these kids, these adult addicts dying every day, there's other moms, right, who are right. There has to be. And so I published the book, and these moms, and I started this Facebook group, right? And they were like, oh my gosh, You have been a godsend. You gave me insight into addiction. You helped me make strong stands when I couldn't. I was addicted to his addiction. I'm finding peace. And so what I did was I started collecting all these things that you wrote to me. And they helped me. They helped me know, okay, I need to keep going, right? And so, and then I started the podcast. They were God winks. Yeah, Gloria tells everybody, I call these God winks. So all these doors started opening. It was like God saying, okay, Michelle, go out and teach this, go out and teach this. And so that's why I started this group and I started the podcast. I created the courses. Some of you have taken my courses. So, and sometimes I would even listen to worship music, and then I would get an idea about interviewing somebody for the podcast. And so I kind of took moms on the journey with me, right? And that's why you're here. And so we're here to heal together. And so when Brian went into recovery, I did too. And the best thing about this is, and I know it's going to happen to you. I pray for it every day, is that when your child gets into recovery, or even if your child is in recovery now, you can start having these healthy conversations with them. And it's like, wow, just pinch me. Is this really happening? Right. And so it's not a coincidence that you're here, because God put you in this room. He said, you know what? You need to hear something that Michelle has. Oh my gosh, so much pressure. So, but I'll never forget that place I was before my journey began. Right. And so I don't want to forget that, because some of you are there and some of you are further along like me. And thank you for continuing on this journey, because even my recovery journey doesn't end until I'm dead. I mean, I just want to grow until then. And so my goal is to empower 1 million moms of addicted loved ones into recovery by 2025. And by recovery, I mean, I want you all to recapture your identity, your joy, and your purpose so we can start this movement. Because who's going to stop this addiction crisis in the world, right? It's the mighty moms, because once we get into recovery, we're going to be strong enough to talk about the stigma and to talk about, what addiction really is, because how many people don't understand it, right? I mean, we didn't. So, and also how many people are not getting the treatment options that they need to recover, right? Only 10%, and I heard this from an addiction psychiatrist in a video, and I don't have his name in front of me. He said only 10% those in addiction ever get the treatment, evidence-based treatment they need to heal. 10% are offered MAT, medicated assisted treatment. And I was blown away by that. But that's a whole nother webinar, right? My main purpose is to tell you a little bit about my story. And I thank you for letting me share that and kind of see how I evolved into this space where I am right here with you right now. So who's ready for the bless method? I'm going to share my screen here in just a minute, because so give me an emoji somewhere. Give me an emoji in the chat box or on Facebook who's ready for the bless method. And I want you to think about this. The reason I'm teaching this is because the conversations we have with our addicted children are just full of anger, frustration. I used to be lecturer, and I didn't always know how to stay in my lane. And so I am going to share my screen here. So bear with me. I'm hoping this is gonna work. Bear with me here. Let's see, I'm gonna go into PowerPoint. Oh, I didn't have PowerPoint open. I thought I had. Here it is. Hang on. I'm almost ready to start. Make sure that we are. So, okay. So, the blessed method. So, this is where we are, right? Burned out, grieving, moms of addicted loved ones before they get into recovery and really know how to stay calm and in control. This is kind of how we, hang on a second. I want to fix. Oh, well. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at my screen, making sure that you can see what I'm seeing and you can. So, the most damaging thing in the life of a child is the unlived life of a parent. And so, when we are sitting in this space where we're so consumed with our children, we're not living the life God intended for us. And that's where I was when I saw my doctor, right? You can relate. So this is the bless method. Hang on a second. Oh, I'm not going to be able to see your um I'm not going to be able to see the chat box. Hang on a second. I want to make sure I can see the chat box. Well, I'll have to see it at the end. I'm not sure how to do it. So everyone wants to feel heard. Humans need to feel understood and understood and listened to. So when we don't feel like our point of view is being heard, we can quickly become lonely, sad, frustrated, or even angry. All of us, right? And this is doubly true for our addicted loved ones. And oftentimes, I've said we need to meet them where they are and listen to them. And somebody said, "Well, what does that mean? Like, how do you do that?" And it's not easy, right? It's really not easy. When an addict doesn't feel heard or when they are belittled by someone, they often use again. So, what happened was I created this bless method and I called my daughter in law last Sunday and I said, "Can I share this with you?" And I did. I spent quite a while on the phone with her and she got emotional because I said, "When you were using, I think I could have been more loving and I could have been more understanding." And she said, oftentimes when they would try to stay sober. And if they felt like somebody was attacking them or they just weren't being heard or listened to, which happens a lot, um, they would use again. And so here's the thing though, we have to remember that we can't control what they do, right? We can't. But how we communicate does matter. And if we want to show love, if we want to be in that space where we have no regrets, um, so if something does, God forbid, happen to our child, that we can say, at least the last time I spoke to them, I was I was loving. I tried to listen. I did the best I could, right? And that's all we can do. So the bless method is this. I'm going to walk you through each step, but each letter stands for a word. Be calm, listen better, empower your child to take action, stay in your lane, and use short sentences. So see the bless. So when we're calm, to be calm, this is an inside job, right? Um, and this is, I think, by far the most difficult thing it was for me to stay calm when my addicted loved one is talking to me and I'm so angry or I'm so frustrated or I'm so scared. So if we remember that to stay calm, it's an inside job, but outwardly, we're just going to appear like we're calm. Doesn't mean that our heart can't be racing. One of the things that we can do, and they teach all the time, is that breathing. So even if you're going to talk to your loved one, you can make yourself a little card, breathe, before you talk to them. And if they're not in front of you, you can kind of focus on how you're breathing by putting your finger here. Feelings, and remember, feelings are not facts. So even though we might feel like, oh my gosh, they are so high right now, they're going to die, or whatever we're feeling, doesn't mean that it's a fact. And negative thoughts aren't always reality. So we just have to replace fear with faith. So hard, so hard. But that's the first step, right? Is to stay calm, be calm, and listen better. So, how do you listen? So, I've put together these steps for listening, and they spell out peace because if we listen well, we'll keep the peace, right? And so, I'm going to go through some examples too. So, stay with me. But the peace way is paraphrase, emotion, affirm, consent, and empathy. So here is an exchange that I'm going to share with you. Let me just do this. So this is an example, okay? So let's say your child is in person or on the phone, and he says, I lost my job. So the P in peace is to paraphrase. And there, all we're going to do is repeat what they said. And we're not going to use sarcasm or anger. And sometimes you can put it in your own words. But for the sake of this example, I'm just going to say, you lost your job? And the child, yeah, I came in late. Stupid alarm never went off. And then you're going to repeat what their emotion is. Oh, you sound upset. Hell yes, I'm pissed. I needed that job. And mom is going to use the A. You gave them a lot of hours. I'm sure they'll miss you. That's to affirm, right? So I'm taking this in and I'm trying to see from his point of view. I'm meeting him where he is. Oh, yeah, you gave them a lot of hours. For years you worked there. I'm sure they're going to miss you. I don't know what to do now, the child says. Mom says, well, can I make a suggestion? Before we give any advice, we ask for consent, right? Because they could say no or they could say yes. So the child in this suggestion, in this example, says, well, as long as you don't say I told you so. Yeah. And the mom says, no, I'm not going to say that. She says, I heard that so-and-so is hiring. Maybe you could apply there. And then if she's in the room with him, pat his hands, give him a squeeze. Rejection never feels good. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we have listened the peace way. Now, the funny thing is, this is what we wanted to say. And how do I know that? Because I've been there. So I would have said something like, early on, oh, well, let me figure that out. Maybe we can find a job for you. Like, or sometimes I've been angry, like those idiots, like, why did they fire you? Right. Or I've said, well, of course you lost your job. Or I wanted to say, you were late too many times. Like, duh. All these things are going through our head. And we know why their life is falling apart, but we're trying to see life from their perspective, right? And we're just trying to listen. We're not trying to fix it. Or I might want to say, maybe if you quit partying the night before, you'd make it in on time. They're going to learn that. Or that's what you get. Or how are you going to pay your bills now? That was stupid. You're such an idiot. Don't ask me for more money. So all these things, like, we want to be able to say, yeah. And I'm sure you can relate. Like, if we go back, let me see if I can go back. So the peace way is the paraphrase, emotion, affirm, consent, and empathy. Okay. It's not trying to fix it. It's not taking on their pain. It's giving it back to them. Here's another example, but let me take a drink. And I just came up with these as an example. Child, my cell phone broke. And I don't know about you, but oh my goodness, my son and daughter-in-law, they always had a broken phone or their phone wasn't working. Oh, your cell phone broke. Now, no anger, no sarcasm. Or, we could just say, oh, bummer, your cell phone broke. Like, we could react that way. Child, how am I supposed to get a job if nobody can get a hold of me now? Mom, I don't know. You sound frustrated. Hell yeah, I am. I'm not going to be able to pay you back or help with the kids' support this month. Oh, not being able to help hurts. I'm affirming that statement, right? I'm not, and I'll come back to this. Well, what am I going to do now? I'm going to ask, well, can I make a suggestion? No, not unless you're going to give me the money for a new one, because that's the only thing that's going to work. And mom, no, remember the last time I helped and I said it would be my last time? Well, this is a new boundary, but it's one I'm going to stick to. I know this is tough for you, but I'm confident you're going to find the resources. I'll pray that something changes for you. And in that, I have given him the, I don't know why I can't come up with just my picture here. I have given it back to him, right? Or her. I tend to always use men for examples because of my son. But in this statement right here, I want to go back to this and say something. So see how this child says, I'm not going to be able to pay you back, like he owes you money, right? Or help with the kids' support this month. Now, right here is a manipulative statement. I showed my son this bless method. I didn't show it to him. I was just talking to him, and he drives a semi now. So he was driving. He wasn't in the best frame of mind to listen. But what he said to me was, Mom, I can promise you that even if you try this method to communicate and to try to hear and listen better, the addict will always know your weaknesses and try to tap into those and say what has worked in the past to get what he needs again. Do I need to repeat that? Isn't that I mean, I was like, oh my goodness, okay. Now his wife did not feel that way. His wife wanted to be heard. And so what my point is, every person is different. But for him in my life, he knew exactly what he needed to say to me to get me to help in a way that would then allow him to continue his using or to continue to get what he needed, whether it was gas or and he sometimes he wouldn't even have to ask for help. I would just volunteer like an idiot, right? Because I always felt so bad for him. Like, how could he possibly be coping with all this, right? So my point is, when we meet them where they are and we try to just listen, it becomes empowering for us if we can think about it in a process, even if we have to write the word peace, and follow, even if you do it out of order, like if you give the empathy first or affirm them later, or just, repeat what they say, it takes us out of it. Now, is your child going to get angry? Yeah. Are they going to hang up on you? Probably. I mean, it just depends on where they are in their recovery, right? So again, I just want to share. This is the L in the bless method. Okay, this is the L. We're just on L, and that's listening. And I'm using the peace method. Okay, and I will I'll probably share this in some way. It'll be available later too if you want it, so you can remember. Actually, I'll make some memes, and so you can have them to just kind of refresh your memory. So let's go back to the bless method, and we were just on the L, right? So the B is be calm, L is to listen, and the E is to empower. So when we listen and we decide we are not going to fix, or we are not going to try to come up with a solution for them, we empower them. And what does empower mean? It just means we're going to give all the power to them. All the power. Okay, you might say, well, Michelle, they really don't have any power right now. They have nothing. And I get that. I do. And that's where the faith comes in, right? That we have to hope and pray that God will put the right people in their life that are going to be available when they realize, oh my gosh, I have no job, I have no car, I have no heat. This is it. this is a terrible life, right? But who are we giving the power to? We are empowering them. We're giving the power to them. And the other thing is to stay in our lane, right? The first S in bless is to stay in our lane. And you might say, well, what's that, right? And to stay in your lane, by that I mean, what's your lane? Your life, your purpose, your identity, maybe your relationship with your spouse. Because if your child is an addict and they're an adult, then you are separate from that. You know, they're an adult and you're an adult, and your relationship is with your spouse. So that's your lane. Another, who your child hangs out with, or what they're doing, where they're working, what they're wearing. You accept him for her where she is and what she's doing, even if you don't agree with it. So in those examples, even like, we're not going to agree with what they're doing. We're not going to love the life that they're living, right? But we're just staying in our lane. It's not our life, and it's their journey, and God is molding them. So if, for instance, like if you have your grandchildren, though, your lane is like, for us, we are guardians of our grandchildren. So our priority, our lane is to advocate for them in their lives, because we're going to make sure that they're safe first and foremost in everything we do, because that's my lane. My lane isn't my son's life and his wife's life. It's my life. And as a guardian, I'm an advocate for those grandchildren. So my priority is with them, but that is part of my lane and not theirs. Does that make sense? And if your child is in your house, it's your house, your boundaries. So it's, that's where it's really important, if your child is living with you, for them to know, and even sit down in a meeting and have a contract, have a form, that here are the rules, a signed form. And they might hate it, but okay, well, you have options where you're free to go somewhere else. But if you're going to stay here, this is my business, this is my home, and this is my lane. And it really helps. Who's the best teacher? Who's the best teacher? Experience, right? Experience. And so I saw this yesterday. And again, this was a God wink, right? If you erase all the mistakes of your past, you would also erase all the wisdom of your present. Remember the lesson, not the disappointment. So are our kids going to learn from us, like fixing things or lecturing or giving them another chance or anything? No, it's in the lesson where they have to be responsible. And think of, well, I'll get to that. I have another example. I hope I share it. Yes, I have. Okay, so I had this mom, and I'm not going to share her name. So if you're here, I'm not saying this to embarrass you in any way. I mean, we're all in the same place. She said, I don't want my son to go through the addiction like I have. Like, she used to be an addict. She was a recovering addict. And I said to her, but you got through it. You're sober, you're functioning, you're healthy. Have you ever talked to him about what you went through? And she said, oh, we've had this discussion many times. And she said, I don't regret going through what I did, because before all that, I was invisible. Most people, above other people, like I thought those people were dope heads, but I learned quickly that everything I have has been given me by God himself. And I'm a blessed woman. I'm grateful today for everything that she went through. And she goes, I guess it's just hard to think that he has to learn the same hard way I did. And I said to her, go back and reread what you just wrote. It will remind you that nobody could have told you what you learned. The best teacher is reflective experience. We don't want them to struggle, no, but it's the struggle that shapes who they become, right or wrong? Right. Yeah, write that in the chat box. Right on. Yeah. I mean, they have to live through it. So experience. And so she said to me, oh my gosh, I was blindsided because of the pain. I was focused on that, the pain, instead of thinking about the journey. Wow, she said, I'm speechless. You're a true blessing. And I sat there and I got emotional. I did, because it was a major breakthrough to her. And this is what I want for you too. When we rescue our children from their poor choices or the consequences of them, we rob them of their journey and what they learn along the way. Sometimes it's our journey through life that launches us into our purpose. Hello, that's why I'm here right now. Where there is pain, there is purpose. So I'm going through this pain, and God is saying, you have to share your pain because other moms are where you are at. So we can't get in God's way. Amen, right? Okay. And then the last S in bless is short. Okay. So just laugh with me. Say, I'm laughing. See this woman here? Who's in front of her? Like all these people? That was me. I love to lecture. So anytime Ryan got into trouble, and every time he did, the crisis was a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. And I didn't see it until it was like way up here. And I was looking down on it. I was looking back on it and going, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, every crisis was bigger, but I didn't see it. But I would stand in front of him or sit in front of him and I would lecture and he would nod and he'd be like, you're so right, Mom. You're so right. Because why? Because he knew that if he waited to the end of that lecture, he would get what he wanted. And why did he know that? Because it happened every single time. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. He told me that last week too. And so that, my friends, is the bless method. And this, okay, so I thought this was really kind of funny, not really, but listening to nagging or complaining for 30 minutes or more can cause damage to the part of your brain that handles problem solving skills. So here I was lecturing him, hoping that he's going to like learn some new thing instead of letting the experience be the teacher. What I was doing was robbing him. It's causing damage to his brain. Like he's not going to be able to problem solve on his own because Mom's problem solving for him. So I thought that was really powerful. And this is the bless method. Be calm, listen better, empower your child to take action, stay in your lane, and use short sentences. Less is more. You don't want to talk for long, right? You just don't. You don't need to, because the more we talk, the more hope they're going to get that they're going to get what they want. And it's just be quick, be loving, and get out. And then the steps to peace again are paraphrase, emotion, affirm, consent, always ask for consent, always ask for permission, and to give empathy. So I am going to, I really like for you to write in the chat or in the Facebook in the comment section, what is one takeaway? What's something you learned in the bless method that you would like to implement, that you would like to try with, and it could be anybody, it could be your spouse, it could be your grandchild, where you're just going to practice, because we're not going to be good at this right away. We're not. And we have to think it through. And it's just like anything else, coming up with a new habit takes time and it takes practice, right? But hey, we want our addicted loved ones to change, and we need to embrace that too. So I'm going to try to asking consent. Linda's laughing. I'm laughing. Right on. Yeah, I'm good. I'm so glad you guys have a sense of humor too. I know it's a tough spot to have because it's so serious. It's totally serious. But it's, if we can laugh at ourselves sometimes, it really helps us get through it. Peace, remain calm, and asking for consent. Stay in my lane and ask for consent. Oh, good. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I want to share with you my the Almighty Mom Tribe new membership program that I am that is starting next week. I'm launching it next week. And I hope you'll stick around to hear a little bit about that. And I am going to, let's see, I'm going to do the slideshow, play from start. And um, remember, if you stay till the end, I'll give you a couple gifts. So when I built this page and I wrote the book and started the podcast and all the courses and all the things I'm working on, I just felt like God kept saying, yes, yes, keep going, keep going. And like I said, I would keep your testimonies in a little file. And when I wanted to give up, or when I thought, oh, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Or, whenever the enemy would attack me on embracing this ministry, I would read those testimonies. And so you kept saying, oh my gosh, I didn't enable today. I was given insight into addiction. Here's a few of the testimonies that were sent to me or were on the page. What resonated most with me was learning how positive thinking takes practice and can be so healing. Um, so I wanted to say, God, where's the next step? Like, where do I need to go next? What more? How can I bring more to these women, right? To these moms. And so I created this Almighty Mom Tribe. It's a private support group, just like our Moms Letting Grow Facebook group, except more. It's for moms who want to heal, but also move on in their purpose. Because when we're stuck, it's like, or we've been stuck for so long, we don't know what to do next. And it's for those moms who are a little courageous and intentionally want to grow and need truth tellers in their life. Like, okay, somebody tell me the truth. Like, what is really going on here, right? And we meet together in a community, just like our addicted loved ones. So that they go to these support groups, right? But with COVID, and with this global group, our group of moms, like I know Gloria's here, she's from one time zone, and I know Lucretia's from another time zone, and then I'm in a different time zone. So we come together from all different places, but we come together in a community. And we meet in this Facebook group, but in the Facebook group, it also has all those things that I wanted, right? When I needed, when I was at my worst and I couldn't find. And so we're going to do all my courses are in there. And I know some of you have already taken my courses. The difference is when you take a course and you're on your own, there's nobody there to talk about that. So like a lot of you purchased my 11 step power mini course, right? And we're gonna do that in the Facebook as a challenge. And we're all gonna do it together and go through it together. So we're just doing more together. We'll have bi-monthly support meetings, a lot like the support meetings I was having, but on a more regular basis. Professional speakers, I'll be inviting a lot more professional speakers. I know I had a therapist last week. I don't know if you caught her, but she is going to try to come into that group. Well, she wants to come into that group. We haven't decided yet how often, and to be our prayer chief, just do some prayers with us. The program, I'm going to have a one-on-one partnership program where moms will be partnered together, kind of like success partners, accountability partners for those who want it, right? We'll be doing book studies, and we'll be compiling a book. So, me, I've published 9 books, and I kind of know how to go about it, right? But I have this vision. Well, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself because I get so excited. So I'll get there. But I'm also going to, like, one of the ideas is just to have a whole writing session, journaling session, maybe depending on how often moms want to need that, like once or twice a month. We'll be talking about how to write letters to your addicted loved ones. We'll grow together. The courses have probably over 25 video tutorials, and I'll be continually adding to those courses. There's worksheets in the courses. I talk about the stages of addiction, how to establish boundaries, your role in the cycle. your secret to finding recovery for your child, empathy versus enabling, how to let go of the guilt, and we'll talk about obsessive thoughts and how to create your resource page for when they are ready. Our speakers are going to be diverse. Those recovering addicts, sometimes mentors, authors, mindfulness leaders, prayer therapists, all that, addiction counselors, and the one-on-one mentors. I talked to you about that. And that's really great for when, let's say we have a new mom who's partnered with a mom who's further in her recovery, and her child's in jail and she wants to bail them out, and she's going to be able to, that other accountability partner is going to know her well enough to be able to talk her off the wall and be there to support her no matter what she decides, because we never tell each other what to do. We're just there to support each other, right? And give each other the courage to do what we say we want to do. So and I just want to share a little bit too. We'll be doing live coaching. We'll have coaching calls a couple times a month. Coaches and therapists are very different. Therapists are counselors, and they typically work on a problem that's recurring over and over again, emotional resolutions to past problems. And whereas life coaches are more intentionally focused on your growth and what you want to do in the future, how you want to build your purpose, you're unstuck, and you want to grow as a person. So there's definitely a difference. And I tell all of you that I'm not a counselor, I am not a doctor, but I am a coach. I've been through hours of training with John Maxwell team, and also the Unhackable. So coaching is partnering with you in a transformational process that inspires you to maximize your potential. It's like going from functionality to potentiality. Like, I'm just functioning, I'm just getting through, I'm barely getting through, to now we're going to thrive. Now we want more. And so our devotional studies every month, we'll pick keywords in the Bible and study those. It's going to be diverse but intentional on certain themes. And the collaborative book idea that I want is eventually, so in my process of healing mom, there's letting go of the shame, the chaos. There's loving well, loving ourselves, loving our addicted children, and living fully. And that's recapturing our joy, identity, and purpose, right? And so those three things, I so want to see moms recover in those three areas and write their stories. And so that book would be compiled by the moms in the Almighty Mom Tribe who want to contribute to that book, so that then we can hand that book to moms just coming into the addiction space and learning, and they can see your transformational progress and want that for themselves. Does that make sense? I don't know. I hope so. And so I want to empower like 1 million moms by 2025. So at some point, I mean, this gives me palpitations, but like, this is my dream audience, right? But I can't do this by myself. I can't do this. I can't go out and teach and get rid of the stigma and help in this addiction space by myself. I need all you moms to recover. And so this is where I want to empower you. And so anybody who comes into this Almighty Mom group, I mean, I'm hoping that you get to the point where you're going to go out and you're going to be up here on stage if that's something you want to do, and you're going to be talking about addiction, and you're going to go off and empower other people. And I don't know if that's where your purpose is, and it's okay if it's not. But if it is, I want us all to be able to talk intelligently about that. And as part of the Almighty Mom Tribe, I am throwing in this bonus. So this is really crazy. 3 years ago, I wrote this book, and I was going to launch this whole business about leaving a letter and changing a life. And I was I turned 60 and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I could die. I want to die and make sure every single person I love has a letter from me, right? And so I put together this little mini book. I never published it, but it's part of the course. It's part of, if you come into the tribe, you will get that. And it's kind of like it takes you through how to write these letters. I don't think there's not one in there to your addicted loved one, but we're going to do that. I'm going to add that too. We're going to be working on those in the group. But I even have one in there that I want read at my funeral. And you might think, oh my gosh, Michelle, like it's not about me. My letter is to it's to all the people that are there at my funeral. It's for them. What I do in this book is I share each person's letter, their gifts of what I saw in them and why I treasured them in my life, their gifts and what was important to them. And they were just blown away. So I did a lot of these letters, and they were really well received. And I'm not going to go through all this, but I just kind of sell your family will learn and be inspired how much you love them. Your current and future family will be positively influenced by you. So even if you have like grandkids that aren't even born yet, you will have these letters as a legacy to leave. So, and I want to introduce my care team partners. Woohoo! I'm excited, Linda said. Okay. So Sandy is our chief welcome warrior. So in the Almighty Mom tribe, you will see her come in and welcome you. Gloria will be facilitating a lot of the support group with me, I hope. Yeah, she's already started working on that. And Lucretia is going to join me in the coaching calls. And so you'll see these three ladies on the team in the group, right? And so their bios are there at the page too. If you haven't gone there, you will see them and you'll learn more about them as time goes on. But they are all moms of addicted loved ones in different capacities. And once you're in that group, I want to know what your ideas are and what about you and what you can bring to the Almighty Mom tribe. So just, more reasons why you should join. This is a community, and healing happens in communities. And yes, the Moms Letting Go page is not going away. It's still going to be there, and we're still going to continue to pour into that and love on people and help them grow too. But this Almighty Mom tribe is it's just a little more intense. Okay. So when we're accountable, we intentionally focus on doing something different. Here's the biggest difference is that the Almighty Mom tribe is a monthly subscription, because I want you to have skin in the game. If you have skin in the game, you're going to show up filled up, and you're going to be ready to learn and to grow and to be more, do more, right? And so if you want to join for the year, you get 2 free months. If you want to join monthly, that's fine too. You can pay monthly, and then if for whatever reason you decide it's not for you, no questions asked. You can just go back to the Almighty or the Moms Letting Go page. So, but if you join now, you will be locked in at the founding member. This is a founding member price. And the more this group grows, the more resources we're going to have in there, the more speakers, the more value and content, but your price will be locked in forever. It'll never go up for you. But in 6 months' time, I am looking to do the price for this is going to go up. And here's the thing. You might say, well, why are you charging for this? Like I said, I want you to have skin in the game. I want there to be accountability, but you also need to know that I have had expenses all along the way, and I'm not saying that to make you feel guilty. It's okay. It's where God has called me to go. It's been a contribution, if you will, to the ministry. But any money over and beyond what my expenses are, I'm going to put right back into addiction, right? And so I even see things like I would love to be able to, sponsor somebody in the recovery. I mean, I just have all these ideas, but I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself, right? Just for today, I'm just trying to get through this webinar. It's the first time, right? So what should you do now? I need to somehow get you this link in the chat box, which I will try to do here in a minute. Let me see if oh shucks, I can't copy and paste that yet. I might have to do it a different way. Okay, let me go back. Hang on. So there's some Q&A, and I want you to ask me some questions to anybody who has any questions. I can't see the chat box right now, but I'm going to stop this and then I think I'll be able to. But let me just go through a few of the questions and a few more slides. And because you're going to have to let me know that you were here till the end so I can send you your little gifts. And I want to tell you what those are. But what if I can't attend all the meetings? So I get it because we're all really busy. I will be live streaming everything into the group too, so you can always watch it later, just like this one. But they'll be in the vault at Teachable, and they'll be in the units vault right here on Facebook, so you can always go back and watch those. And I know some people are like paranoid about understanding Zoom. And you know what? I get it, because just a year ago, I didn't know how to do this. And so I was very, very nervous. And I'm trying to make tutorials. I made a few last week and shared them. And I know Cheryl said, oh my gosh, that helped me so much. And all I do is go to Google and I say, Google, show me how to download the Zoom app. Show me how to do this, show me how to do that. And I watch YouTube videos, but I make sure that they're current. Like I make sure that they're this year and they're not really old. And then I learn step by step how to do stuff. What if I want to stop my membership? Oh, okay. Well, hate to see you go, but we understand that needs change. So I'll delete your membership automation. You'll no longer have access to the courses in the private support group, but you can continue to be a blessing in our Moms Letting Go page, right? What if I can't afford it? Like I said, the Moms Letting Go is still there. And you know what? If more and more come into the membership and we have where we want to sponsor one mom into the Almighty Mom Tribe at some point, we might be able to do that too at a future time. I don't have a computer, iPad. Will I be able to view everything from your phone? You can have access to everything by your phone, but in the support meetings, we break out into breakout rooms, and you'll be able to talk to your mom, but you won't be able to see her. But we'll make it work. So, if this is something that you really want to do and all you have is a phone, we'll work with you on that. Okay. So, what if I need one-on-one coaching? If you want more, both Lucretia and I are available. And that would be an upcharge, though, I know, for one-on-one, depending on what you had in mind and how long you wanted to be coached. And just so you know, I've had a coach for 3 or 4 years, a personal coach. And so I'm always pushing myself. And what I have found, I pay my coach, but what I found is that having a coach pushes me. That's why I'm here today, showing up, filled up, right? Okay, do you have to finish all the courses within a specific time frame? No, please no. And I would rather you take your time and go through the courses as a group, or just depending on which courses you need when. They're there for you to work on them at your schedule. And like I said, new courses will be continually added. So here is, I'm going to quit. Wait a second. I can't do, I'll come back to this. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste this link. It'll take you to the checkout, or it'll take you to the sales page for the Almighty Mom membership, if that's something you want. Type your address, or type your email address in the chat box, and this recording will have that, so that I can go back and make sure I get you your free gifts. Okay. So I'm going to come back to this screen here, but this is what we're going to look like, right? The moms in the tribe. Oh my goodness, we're going to learn so much. So you can ask, um, oh, Donna, I'm just glad I'm functioning at this point. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's okay. And you're alive and you're here, right? So I know you want to grow. I know you want to like keep improving where you're at, and you will get there. So your gifts for today, what I did was I went out and I created this 22 ways to say no. It's a 2-page list of ways to say no and set boundaries with your addicted loved one. I will email you that PDF. And I also have this little self-care daily checklist. And it's I love me. It's just a postcard size. And you can laminate it if you want, put it on your refrigerator, but it's, or just tape it somewhere. And it's a reminder of all these things that I think there's 6 things on there for you to do for you every day. Like, eat healthy, or just, I don't have them right in front of me, but they're just simple, right? And you can use that just to kind of do a self-care check on where you're at and stay focused on you. So let me see. So what I covered was why this work matters, my story. Thank you for letting me share my story. The Bless and Peace method, and the Almighty Mom Tribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Okay, so let me hang on. I'm going to quit sharing my screen. I think. Stop sharing. Okay. Oh, shucks. Let me see. Bear with me. Oh, good. I got some addresses here. I'm going to see if I can copy this address and put it in the chat box for you. Oh, I think I can. I think I can. Let's see if this works. Oops. Did it work? Yep, it worked. Okay. Oh, wait, that was just to Angel. Sorry. Let's get this to everybody. Okay. And then I'll go back. Mom's in the Facebook group. I will go back and put that link. You'll see that link because this membership is open it's going to be ongoing for a couple weeks. So you will see different stuff about it. I've already had some start to join. Thank you. And you'll be seeing more about it. And again, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this has helped you some. And just know that I'm here for you. My care team is here for you, and we'll just be here for each other to get through this. So God bless. Oh, I went over an hour. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I had hoped to keep it at an hour, so hopefully I wasn't too chatty. So God bless, and thank you so much for coming. And I don't think I have any questions. Oh, Angel, I'm sorry your business is closed because of COVID and her husband's on disability. Oh gosh, yes, that's so tough. I'm so sorry. And then to have an addicted loved one, yes. Oh, okay. So Angel wants the slides. I will do that too. I'll try to put that some memes together and share that. I'll actually put it in a unit, and I'll make sure I tag some of you on that. Okay. So God bless. Oh, can I make payments for the membership? Um, I don't know. I have to think about that, Linda. I could probably break it down into twice a month um, somehow. So I'll think about that and I'll get back to you. Okay. Okay. All right. God bless, and I will see you soon. Okay. Bye bye.